So we're going to talk about how when you cut something and it's cut through all the way on one side, or a couple of letters are cut through all the way and it's not cut deep enough somewhere else, or if at 20 it's cutting through all the way, or at 99 it's cutting not even enough. So main things to look at if it's cutting through too much on one side and not enough on another, or just randomly, is your cut strip. So over time, we all do it. We run the blade into the cut strip. The blade will end up chewing up the cut strip over time. It is important to keep it clean, but if it's smooth across it and you don't have a lot of divots in it, then you're probably okay. If you do have a lot of divots in it, and I have an example of an older cut strip, it's got chunks missing all the way across. The good thing about cut strips is that you can pull this out and flip it upside down and have a new cut strip. So you can put some double-sided tape on the end that's bad, but make sure you clean this groove out that it's going to sit in, because it needs to be consistent all the way across. You need to make sure it's not high on one side and low on the other, or that's going to give you the same problem. So make sure it's smooth, set it down, clean it up real good, double-sided tape, set it down in there. You got a new one. Same thing with this one, but clean it out, that's important. So if you have fixture cut strip issue, you know that it's not that, you're still having the same problem, blag adjustment. So these carriages have a specific down point and up point that can be set by the flag. To get to where you can figure out what your flag is set to, you need to take your blade holder and unscrew this black cap to the point where you cannot see the blade sticking out. All right, there's just a teeny tiny bit. So that is going to be your down point. So we're going to stick this in here like that, tighten it up. All right, we're going to go to settings. We've got to put this in advanced mode. So we're going to go to about this machine, user settings, change basic, type in the code 25. Now we're in the advanced menu. So now we can go back again. Now we have more options. Machine diagnostics, flag. Here we go. So it's up. All right, so I'm gonna push the blade down, and when it's down, we're gonna see what it's reading. It says 17, 18. It needs to be 25. 18's not too bad. I've seen some that said 300. It needs to be within 5 of 25, but 25 is your target. This is a 1/16 Allen wrench. There's a magnet in there. So to hold these little screws, if you want to, you can set them on top of the magnet. This is our flag, and this is our sensor. One over here, one right here. All right, so these two screws right here and just below it are going to be what we loosen up. And it's good to have a ball head because this tool gets in the way. So we're going to loosen these up. There we go. You don't want to loosen them up too much because, I'll show you, watch that number. If I just barely touch this, so it's got about 3/16 of an inch that it can move, and it's pretty dramatic. So what I'm going to do is get as close to 25 as I can, And then I will slowly tighten one, and then I will tighten the other. See if it moves. And I won't tighten it up all the way because it's gonna move when I go to tighten those two little screws. And I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit more because when I go forward, or when I turn it the way that it's gonna tighten, it goes forward. So I'm gonna tighten the bottom one up more. Try to keep it from moving. And I tighten the top one. Cool, we got it. Yeah, perfect. 25. All right, so now we've got it set where we want it. So we're gonna remove the blade holder. It says remove knife and press. We're gonna push it. All right, it's gonna figure out its down position without anything. It's done that. Now we're going to replace the blade holder. Make sure we tighten it up. Replace knife and press. Now the machine is going to completely restart itself. It's going to stay on the same screen, but it has adjusted and saved. To be sure that it remembers, we're going to turn it off, turn it back on. And you do that with calibration too. Whenever you change any of the settings, turn it off, turn it back on, make sure they're set. Once you've got the flag set to where it needs to be, you've gone through the tool down and the tool up, and the machine has reset itself, and you've turned it off. You just put this back on exactly the way it came off. 1/16. The other one was 3/32 for those two. So we have checked our cut strip, flipped it over or replaced it, whatever was necessary, or just cleaned it off if that was the case, and done a flag adjustment on our blade holder, or our tool for our blade holder on our carriage. And so after that, you would try to do another cut and see if your inconsistent depth has resolved. And if it has, great, that's what's going to happen 99% of the time. If not, you probably need a new blade holder. If it's cutting too deep or too little or inconsistently across the board, and you change out your cut strip and do your flag adjustment, you should be fine.